Can the American Pharoah Stakes give us a horse that runs in the Kentucky Derby next year? Let's wait and see. Trust the profits. It's the formula here. And yes, it does feel like we're getting ready to talk about some Kentucky Derby potential horses. It's still very early. It's October. I understand. But we got some races here where from time to time you get some Kentucky Derby contenders. Last few winners from the American Pharoah Stakes have been Cave Rock, Corniche, Get Her Number, Eight Rings, Game Winner. Game Winner really being the only one of consequence of that list. And there's been a couple that looked like they were going to be Kentucky Derby contenders and then faded out due to injury and for various other reasons. But let's take a look at what we got here. Um, it's eight horses, two of them Bob Baffert horses. It doesn't look like much to me right now, but let's take a deeper look and find out. This race is going to be run Saturday, October 7th at Santa Anita. It is a G1. It is an 8.5 furlong race on dirt. That is 1 1/16 miles. Let's start. The first horse we've got here today is Muth. Muth? God, it rolls off the tongue nice and easily. Don't know who named this horse or what they named it after. Maybe a political figure. I think that's what it is. But moving on, two races, two places. One first place finish for Muth. Second place in the 6 furlong Best Pal Stakes, battling between first and second most of the race, finally succumbing to Prince of Monaco, who I wish was in this race because Prince of Monaco comes up a lot of times as beating these other horses. But no matter. Prince of Monaco prevailed there by 4 lengths after Muth was heavily favored. So this is a horse came in second in a race where he was heavily favored. Prince of Monaco showed that he was the better horse in that race. So I'm curious to see. This will be the third race for Muth, what he does. First place in his first race out, a 5 furlong maiden special weight race, beating El Magnifico by 8 lengths. Bob Baffert horse, Muth, going 1-1 in the morning line. Next up is Next Level. 3 races, second place and a third place. Third place at the Del Mar Futurity. 7 furlong race there, finishing 4 lengths behind Prince of Monaco. Once again, ding, ding, ding. Drink if you heard Prince of Monaco. Second place in a 82K 6 furlong maiden special weight race, which he led going into the stretch, was beaten by Bob Baffert's Mission Beach by 1 1/4 furlong in that race. This horse is yet to break his maiden, but he's been running pretty good, I would say. He's had some pretty solid races. So Next Level, maybe in this league here, does he scrape up to the top? Wind Me Up. This is the second of two Bob Baffert horses, and the one with the best odds, I must say. One win in one race. His win was a 1.5 length finish over De Oro Dash, essentially going gate to wire in that race. 82K, 6 furlong, just like the last race we talked about, but even more so. All these horses are going 6 and 7 furlong, and they're bouncing up to 8.5 furlong. So I'm curious to see what's going to happen there. Could be a shock for some of them. Wind Me Up. It's going to be his second race. Bob Baffert, he does train them fairly well for distance for the most part. So curious to see what happens here. Raging Torrent. 3 races. He's got to win and a third place finish. Fourth place finish at Del Mar Futurity, 6 1/4 lengths behind. Drink up, Prince of Monaco. Third place finish at the Best Pal Stakes, 8 3/4 lengths behind. Get that glass ready again, Prince of Monaco, 4 lengths behind Muth in that one. First place finish, first time out, winning an 82K maiden special weight against Win Again, ironically named, and beating him by 2+ lengths in that one. Doug O'Neill training Raging Torrent. BU. This is the oddball horse of the race. This is the one that ships in from New York. Todd Pletcher horse. Umberto Rispoli is the jockey here. Second place finish for BU. Fourth place finishes as the last race at the Hopeful Stakes. 4 lengths off of Nutella Fella in that one. Much more fun to say than Muth, I must say. Second place finishes first time out in 136K, 6 furlong maiden special weight race. A nose behind Just Steel and 3 lengths ahead of Locked in that one. Locked, who looks to be pretty strong going into the Claiborne Breeders' Futurity. So yeah, as I mentioned before, this is an outsider shipping across the country. Todd Pletcher trained, so that counts for something. Rothschild. Where does my creepy photo comes from? It comes from Rothschild. Go ahead and look it up if you like. He's got one win in three races, no seconds or no thirds. Ran 6 out of 6 at the Del Mar Futurity, going 7 furlongs in that one. He was 12 lengths back of Prince of Monaco. Are you drunk yet? After bumping the gate and bumping into a competitor. So really not much of a factor there. Obviously some extenuating circumstances. He did win a 6.5 furlong 82K maiden special weight race at Del Mar, going gate to wire, beating El Magnifico by 5 1/4 lengths in that one. Also indispensable, third place in that one, 7 lengths off. This is a Tim Yaktane horse with Mike Smith as the jockey for Rothschild. Indispensable. One race for indispensable, that third place finish. We just mentioned it. Got off to a rocky start in that one in an 82K maiden special. Finished third, recovering from sixth place, 7 lengths behind Rothschild and 2 behind El Magnifico. So John Sadler horse, Giovanni Franco is your jockey. Finally, we're getting through this very quickly. A lot of horses with very little history and very little distance. El Magnifico, 2 second place finishes in 2 times out. Second behind Rothschild, as we mentioned, 5 1/4 lengths behind him in that one. A 6.5 furlong race, 2 lengths ahead of Indispensable in that one. And a second place finish to Muth. So he's finished second to two horses that are in this race. 61K, 5 furlong maiden special weight race in that one, 8 3/4 lengths behind Muth in his first race out. Keith Sormo, Hector Barrios, etc., etc. So what do we have here? Oh my God. Yes, a little bit of an eye chart. This is our snippet of our tip sheet here. If you'd like to get more of these tip sheets, we make them available to our members. There are many different membership levels to join at. One gets you all of our weekly memberships. One of them gets you the Saturday specials. So you hit that join button, you become a member, you support us monetarily, and we make these available to you on the message boards. What is this one telling us right here? Well, right now we've got the two Baffert horses at the top, Muth and Wind Me Up. They get our highest ratings. Muth moves up in terms of morning line versus what our power figures say, moves up 3 spots, 12 to 1, getting great value there. In terms of recent race value, Muth gets the highest recent race value, very close to BU. Those two horses are pretty much neck and neck there. We've got two horses that show up as pace setters in this one too, and they're both the Baffert horses. Big shock there. Given the distance of this, it's going to be very curious to see how well they maintain, especially with the number of horses who do like to sit just off the pace. And you got one horse down below there, Rothschild, that is a pace pusher. So how the pace sets up in this is going to be very interesting. You could see a horse like BU or Next Level come from behind in this one. But what do we think is going to happen here? I went with the two Baffert horses as my safe and value choices here. Once we hit the actual line, the post time odds, I think Wind Me Up is going to take a hit here. I don't know what Muth is going to be at. 1 to 1 sounds about right. He might jump up a little bit, but probably still below 2 to 1, in my opinion. Wind Me Up, probably going to still get you better value. Bob Baffert has won like 4 of the last 5 of these. So it is a safe bet to go with Baffert here. I don't really fall all over myself trying to find another horse here. I mean, you could probably make a few arguments for a few other ones, but none of them really look super strong. I do like BU, the horse that is shipping from Todd Pletcher. Doesn't look like Pletcher's strongest horse, but I think he definitely has a chance. So if you look at my key, I've got Muth keyed, Wind Me Up as my next horse up, BU, the Todd Pletcher horse I just mentioned, and then Next Level's my fourth horse here. Again, we're talking about an 8 horse race. You get a little bit of value there in a couple of those plays. Muth, I think, is probably the safest play though for finishing in the money. So there you have it. What do you guys see? Is there a Derby horse? I'm not saying a Derby winner even, but is there a Derby horse in the American Pharoah this year? Or are we seeing a bunch of horses that look all sexy in October and then fade in January? We've seen that play before as well. So hit us up in the comments, give us a like, give us a subscribe, let us know what you think, and we hope you have a wonderful day.